Hello and welcome to the latest episode of The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, let's kick off another episode. So the Dragon Quest franchise is kind of a big deal. In Japan, where it's originated from, the game, when a new one in the core franchise releases, shuts down the entire country. People take days off work. It's very much like what happens for us pre-Melbourne Cup or post-Anzac Day or any of those sort of things where people try and make long weekends out of it. That's what Dragon Quest causes in Japan. Now, the game just launched, Dragon Quest XI, in Japan, and the result was a whole bunch of information regarding us Westerners and what we have to look forward to when the game comes out. Check it out in this week's episode. Point number one for today is all about the story in the game. Now, you play the role of a 16-year-old who's going through this small town's rite of passage, coming of age ceremony. And during that process, you discover that you are the reincarnation of this legendary hero. Now, this kicks off your entire adventure, most of which has not been revealed yet, courtesy of the fact that I can't speak Japanese, you probably can't speak Japanese, and that sort of news, because the game's only just released, hasn't really made its way out to the West just yet. Point number two for today is about the game's release. Now, it's important to note that the game has just come out in Japan, and when it did so, it released on both the PS4 and the Nintendo 3DS. Now, as people will undoubtedly know, the PS4 is a very high-end gaming console versus the 3DS, which is an old, dated Nintendo handheld. These are very, very different. It means that basically what the PS4 can do, the 3DS can't. The dual screens in the 3DS means that the 3DS can do some things that the PS4 can't. Well, what you've got in the case of the PS4 is a very high-end, HD, gorgeous-looking game, designed by Akira Toriyama, the guy who does Dragon Ball Z, for those of you out there. The 3DS version, also with Toriyama behind it, still going for that modern look, if that's what you so desire, but it's far simplified. And as an extra perk for those who do pick up the game on the 3DS, if you get the 3DS version, there's a toggle feature that allows you to basically flip it to super old school sort of style. Think about what we've seen in recent releases like Fire Emblem Echoes, where you can and a number of other retro games of late, where you can toggle between the old version and the new. Much the same in this case. You can flick it back to this old school Dragon Quest style and play it out in that fashion if you so desire, or toggle it back and play it to the best of the capabilities of the 3DS hardware. Final point on that one is that the Nintendo Switch version is coming. We've heard nothing more about it. We know that it's coming to the Switch, but we don't know anything more than that at this point. The game didn't even release on the Switch in Japan in time for the simultaneous launch. We'll see when that happens somewhere down the track. Hopefully when it comes to the West, it comes for the Switch as well. Point number three for today is about the gameplay. Now, in recent years, we've seen a number of different Dragon Quest games come out. We've seen Heroes games, so they're very much Musou, hack and slash sort of games. We've seen Dragon Quest Builders, fantastic I might add. We've seen Dragon Quest X, which was an MMO. But Dragon Quest XI is going back to the old established formula that has been tried and true for so many JRPGs over the decades. It is a turn-based game that plays exactly as anyone who would enjoy past Dragon Quest games, early Final Fantasy games, and several other games of that era. This is for you. Now, they do tease this potential to kind of dive a little bit into the action RPG genre with the fact that you've got a camera that you can kind of control and rotate and move around to get a different perspective, but it's purely a cinematic sort of perk from what I can see here. Take a look at the clip to see exactly what I'm talking about. Point number 4 is about the game's localization. It was revealed last week when the game came out in Japan, courtesy of a video that was put on the official Dragon Quest Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything, that the game is finally coming to the West. It's finally been confirmed. It's been teasing me for years and I was sick of it, and it's awesome that it's finally happening. So, what we got told is that the game is now beginning to get localized in 5 different languages, English being one of them. They haven't confirmed what these other languages are yet, so if you speak French or German or Italian or anything else, sorry, we don't know anything more about those just yet. But the thing that is important to note, if they have just begun localization now, then you cannot expect to see this game until well into 2018. Square Enix has confirmed a 2018 window, but don't expect it to be early in that year. I can't imagine. They might pull one out of the hat, but they themselves declared that there's a lot of content that they've got to translate and localize, so don't expect to see this game very soon. The fifth and final point for today is about the game's 2018 release. As I confirmed in the last point, the game is coming in 2018. However, what is important to note from that announcement is that the game wasn't actually confirmed to come out for the 3DS or the Switch as it has been marketed for Japan. Currently, we've only been told about the PS4 version. All the cinematics we've seen are of the PS4 version. They're keeping this 3DS/Switch version very low key. The 3DS version has come out in Japan, so I wouldn't rule out the possibility that it comes out over here too. But the Japanese love their mobile games, be it mobile phone games or portable handheld systems like the 3DS, like the Switch. That's not really the same out here in the West. We love our console games. We like sitting in front of a television screen or playing on a mobile phone. That middle ground is starting to evaporate. Does Square Enix release the game on the 3DS? I don't know. Maybe we see that only for the Switch. We still don't know anything more about the Switch. At the moment, what we know is the PS4 version is coming, and it's coming in 2018, so look forward to that. So those were 5 key things that we now know about Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. The game has released in Japan. It has sold 2 million units in only a few days, an incredible feat for such a game. The game is now coming to the West. Hopefully that will translate to some strong sales over here as well. I'm looking forward to the game, and I hope you are too. If there is more that you want to catch from this channel, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. Hit those buttons down below where you can catch up with weekly episodes of The Insider, All Patched, the Video Games Club, there's weekly Player 2 plays, and a whole bunch more content that you can only find on this channel. Make sure to visit the website, player2.net.au, where you can find out all the awesome written content. We've just had a month of JRPG July content, so maybe you want to jump back and see what we think about some classics of the genre, as well as awesome written reviews, previews, and a whole bunch more that you can only find on the site. If you want to catch up with me or any more news from the site, you can hit me up at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter. You can visit the site, Player2AU on Twitter. And for more, please like, share and subscribe again. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.